Hello and welcome to everyone in the virtual classroom to learn case flow statement. Let us take another question from Saurashtra University March 2018 question paper. Have a look on the question. Data has been given as usual. For 2 years, balance sheets have been given for 2 years, 31st March 17 and 31st March 2018. And then additional information for 2017 and 18. 6 points have been given for additional information. Before we start the case flow statement preparation process, let me draw your attention on these two balance sheets, especially the dates. See, after liabilities, the column is 31st March 2018, for which we have to prepare the case flow statement. And then the column is 31st March 2017. Same is on the asset side. So here you have to be very careful about this reverse sequence of the date that has been given over here. 18 has been given first and then afterwards 2017. Normally, we are habituated for the right sequence, 17 first and then 18. But over here, it is a reverse sequence that has been given, 18 first and then 17. So you have to be careful about this reverse sequence. Otherwise, you will be committing a big mistake in the ledger account preparation. You will be reporting wrong balances over there, as well as also in the last leg when we will verify the balance sheet to complete the cash flow statement. At that time also you may commit a mistake in the interpretation of the two balances given in the balance sheet. So be careful. Over here it is a reverse sequence that has been given, 18 first and then 17. तो पहले क्वेश्चन पेपर को जरा देख लेना है 2 मिनट 3 मिनट and then start the solution, not before that in a hurry. Okay, let us start. Case flow statement, title A. Let us decide the net profit of the year. Come on the liability side, profit and loss account. Last year 1,20,000 balance of profit and loss, and the current year 1,50,000. Compare the two balances to decide the profit of the year that we will report in the cash flow statement under title A. Let us report it. Cash flow statement. Have a look. Title A. Cash flow generated from business operations or operating activities. Net profit of the year. How to decide it. Difference of balances of profit and loss appropriation account during the period of two balance sheets. Current year's balance 1,50,000 minus last year's balance 1,20,000. That gives the profit of the year 30,000. Nothing is new. We done it almost in all our previous questions. Then adjustments for non-cash and non-operating items. We will be giving these adjustments for non-cash and non-operating items to convert this net profit into cash profit generated only from business operations related transactions. Let us start the additional information. Point number 1. Have a look. Point number 1, I am reading it. Sold one machine for rupees 50,000, the cost of which was rupees 1 lakh, and the depreciation provided on it was rupees 42,000. See, here the word cost has been given, and the depreciation provided on it was rupees 42,000. In the very second point, it has been said provided rupees 1,90,000 as a depreciation. So this 1,90,000 is the current year's depreciation that has been provided on the fixed assets. So in item number 1, what does this mean of the word cost as well as the depreciation provided on it was 42,000. Let us verify the balance sheet whether company follows the depreciation fund system or not. Have a look on the asset side. Very first item, fixed assets at cost. Opening balance 16,000, closing balance 19,000. Less depreciation 4,60,000 for the last year, 5,80,000 for the current year. What does it mean? Does it mean that it is a current year's depreciation? No, certainly not. Current year's depreciation has been given in additional point number 2, as we already saw it, 1,90,000. So current year's depreciation has been given separately. So certainly these two balances are not the current year's depreciation. तो ये क्या हो सकता है? See the big amount, 4,60,000 and 5,80,000. It is the big amount. It cannot be the current year's depreciation considering the big amount that has been given over here. And not only that, current year's depreciation has been given separately in additional information point number 2 that I already show you, 1,90,000. तो ये क्या हो सकता है? See the word fixed assets at cost. It means fixed assets have been shown at its cost price over here. Recall the depreciation fund system. The very first characteristics of that system was that under the depreciation fund system, fixed assets are always shown at its original cost. And over here, fixed assets have been shown at cost. And then afterwards, the total depreciation, that is called accumulated depreciation or balance of depreciation fund account, have been shown on the asset side by deducting from the original cost of the fixed assets, and then afterwards the written down value has been given in the 2 column itself. So it is not the current year's depreciation, it is the depreciation fund system that is being followed by the company. The word cost is very important. Then afterwards additional information point number 2 also gives the hint, the current year's depreciation. And the third point, these are the 2 big balances of the depreciation fund system. ये इस साल का depreciation नहीं हो सकता, it must be the balances of depreciation fund account. Over here, the word that has been used is the depreciation. So you may get confused whether it is a depreciation or whether it is the depreciation fund system. I told you 3 points on the base of which you have to identify that this is the depreciation fund account balances which have been given over here on the asset side by deducting it from the original cost of the fixed assets, and then afterwards the written down values have been arrived. Till the last question, you know, number of times we saw the depreciation fund system or accumulated depreciation or provision for depreciation that was given on the liability side of the balance sheet. While in this question, this depreciation fund has been shown on the asset side by deducting it from the original cost of the fixed asset. But don't forget, it is the balances of depreciation fund account. This can be shown by 2 ways. As we saw till the last question, it was there on the liability side of the balance sheet. But in the current question, this balance of depreciation fund has been shown on the asset side by deducting it from the original cost of the fixed asset. Both ways are correct. It can be shown like this, or it can be shown on the liability side of the balance sheet like we saw in almost all our previous questions. So this point is a very good point of the question. It is a new point of the question, and you have to be very careful about the interpretation of this word fixed assets at cost, less depreciation, and that additional information point number 2, in which current year's depreciation has also been given. This understanding is very important. It affects your working note. It affects your final answer of the working note. It affects the posting in the concerned ledger accounts of fixed assets as well as the depreciation also, and ultimately it is also going to affect the cash flow statement reporting. So be careful. I hope it would be very clear now in your mind that the company follows the depreciation fund system. Let us verify that point number 1 and 2 once again. Considering the depreciation fund system, sold one machine for rupees 50,000. Selling price has been given 50,000. Word cost, which is very important for the depreciation fund system. Cost of which was 1 lakh. And depreciation provided on it was 42,000. इतने सालों का इस मशीन पर प्रोवाइड किया गया डेप्रिसिएशन है 42,000. Okay, let us prepare a working note for this sale of machine fixed assets and a working note also to calculate all the calculations related with this point. So working note number 10, have a look. Working note number 1, sale of machine. Original cost 1 lakh, less accumulated depreciation so far rupees 42,000. That gives written down value in the current year 58,000. Compare it with selling price, which is 50,000 given in the point number 1 itself. That gives a loss of rupees 8,000. Journal entry, bank debit 50,000. Depreciation fund account debited for transfer of depreciation on this machine which has been sold out in the current year 42,000. Profit and loss account debited loss 8,000 to machine, or you may say fixed assets account credited 1 lakh its original cost. Then point number 2, current year's depreciation was given, for which the JE would be profit and loss account debited to depreciation fund account credited 1,90,000. Under the depreciation fund system, every year depreciation though would be debited to profit and loss account, but the credit would be given to depreciation fund account. Let us give the posting in the concerned ledger accounts for this journal entries. Fixed assets account and depreciation fund account. Opening balance 16 lakh, closing balance 19 lakhs. First JE, bank account debited 50,000, depreciation fund account debited 42,000, profit and loss account debited loss 8,000 to fixed assets account credited 1 lakh. Opposite narration, opposite amount. You know the rules of posting. So bank debit, depreciation fund debit, profit and loss account debit to fixed assets account credited 1 lakh. Second JE for the depreciation of the current year, profit and loss account debited to depreciation fund account credited 1,90,000. This is the opening balance of depreciation fund 4,60,000 and the closing balance 5,80,000. Okay, so this was for the first additional information as well as for the second point of additional information. Still something is there for the fixed assets, and that is why let us wait before we close these 2 ledger accounts related with fixed assets. Let us verify next point number 3. Point number 3. redeemed of debentures at rupees 103. Redemption of debentures has been given at rupees 103. Amount of redemption of debenture has not been given over here. So how can we decide it? It can be decided by verifying the balances of debentures in the balance sheet. Have a look on the liability side. Debentures. Last year 4 lakh, opening balance 4 lakh, closing balance 2 lakh 80,000. It means during the current year, debentures worth rupees 1 lakh 20,000 have been redeemed at 3% premium. 103 means 3% premium. 100 versus 103. So 3%, 3 rupees means 3% redemption premium has been given. Have a look on this working note number 3, redemption of debentures. Debentures worth rupees 1 lakh 20,000. How we decided it? Difference of two balances in the ledger account of debentures. We already verified it in the balance sheet also. Have been redeemed at rupees 103 means at 3% premium. Journal entries. Debentures account debited 1 lakh 20,000. Redemption premium on debentures account debited 3,600. How we got it? 3% of 1 lakh 20,000, the nominal amount of debenture that has been redeemed. 3% of 1 lakh 20,000, 3,600. 2. Debenture holders account credited 1 lakh 23,600. Then second journal entry. Debenture holders account debited 1 lakh 23,600 to bank account credited 1 lakh 23,600. Let us give the posting of these two journal entries in the concerned ledger accounts related with debenture redemption. Have a look. Debentures account. First J. Debentures account debited 1 lakh 20,000. Redemption premium on debentures account rupees 3,600. This is the redemption premium on debentures account. Debited 3,600. Opposite narration, debenture holders account. 2. Debenture holders account credited. Opposite narration, opposite amount. By debentures account 1 lakh 20,000. By redemption premium on debentures account 3,600. Total credited 1 lakh 23,600. So debentures account debit 1 lakh 20,000. Redemption premium on debentures account debit 3,600 to debenture holders account credited 1 lakh 23,600. Opposite narration, opposite amount. Then second J. Debenture holders account debited to bank account credited 1 lakh 23,600. Account is over, no balancing figure. While debentures account, let us verify it. Opening balance was 4 lakh, closing balance 2 lakh 80,000. It's over 4 lakh, 4 lakh. Redemption premium on debentures 3,600. It is a deferred revenue expenditure. It should have been shown in the balance sheet. Let us verify the balance sheet. Is there any debenture redemption premium appearing on the asset side? No, nothing is there. So what does it mean? 3,600 redemption premium on debenture. It is not appearing on the asset side of the balance sheet. It means this 3,600 has been written off in the current year itself. और इसीलिए तो ये बैलेंस शीट में एसेट साइड नहीं दिखता है. Profit and loss account debited 3,600 to redemption premium on debentures account credited 3,600. Entire amount of this redemption premium has been written off in the current year itself. Let us give the posting of this third journal entry. Redemption premium on debentures account profit and loss account debited to redemption premium on debentures account credited, return of 3600, account is over. So these were the three ledger accounts related with redemption of debentures for which we have passed three journal entries. Cash flow impact. Let us verify the debentures account. Nothing is there. Opening balance, closing balance, transfer 120, 4 lakh, it's over. Debenture holders account. Have a look. On the debit side, title came bank 1,23,600. It indicates cash outflow. Under title C, redemption of debentures with premium minus 1,23,600. While redemption premium on debentures, on the credit side, title came profit and loss. Company has written off this redemption premium to the current year's profit and loss account. It is a non-operating item. To test, does it look like a cash transaction? Does it look like an operating transaction? It is a non-operating transaction. Every day this type of transaction doesn't happen. It happens once in a while in a time span of 3-5 years. So being a non-operating item, this 3600 will be added back in the current year's profit under title A. Let us do it. Let us report it under title A. 3600 redemption premium on debentures written off plus 3600. While redemption of debenture 1,23,600 under financial or financing activities, redemption of debentures with premium minus 1,23,600. So this was for redemption of a debenture. Let us go for additional information point number 4. It is related with investment. Sold some trade investment at a profit, which was credited to capital reserve. In this point, neither the selling price nor the profit amount has been given. Sold some trade investment at a profit, which was credited to capital reserve account. So how can we decide the profit or the selling price? That has not been given in this point. We need selling price to report it in the cash flow statement. We need profit also to give its impact under the first title in the profit of the year. But one clue has been given, that profit was credited to capital reserve account. So let us verify the balance sheet and see the balance of capital reserve. How does it look? Come on the liability side, second item, capital reserve, no opening balance, closing balance 20,000. What does it mean? No opening balance versus closing balance 20,000. And there are no other transactions given for capital reserve account barring this one, that the profit due to sale of investment was credited to capital reserve account. It means this 20,000 must be the profit made on the sale of investment which was transferred, which was credited to capital reserve account. No opening balance, only closing balance. There are no other transactions given for capital reserve account barring only this one. So this 20,000 is nothing but the profit that took place due to sale of investment and has been credited to capital reserve account. Have a look. Let us prepare a small working note for investment. The transfer of profit, as we saw in the balance sheet, 20,000 profit was transferred to capital reserve account. So investment account debited 20,000 to capital reserve account credited 20,000. This instruction was very clear that profit was transferred to capital reserve account. Let us give this posting of the journal entry. transfer of profit. Opening balance 2 lakh, closing balance 1,60,000 given in the balance sheet. First JE that we passed for transfer of profit. Investment account debited to capital reserve account credited, transfer of profit 20,000. Capital reserve account. Have a look. Capital reserve. No opening balance as we saw and verified in the balance sheet. Closing balance 20,000 given in the balance sheet. Posting of the first JE. Investment account debited to capital reserve account credited 20,000. Account is over. कोई ओपनिंग बैलेंस नहीं थी, क्लोजिंग बैलेंस 20. तो ये इस साल का जो प्रॉफिट हुआ, इन्वेस्टमेंट सेल किया, ये प्रॉफिट यहाँ ट्रांसफर किया है कंपनी ने. इन्वेस्टमेंट अकाउंट डेबिट टू कैपिटल रिजर्व अकाउंट क्रेडिट एंड दिस 20,000 remains in the form of closing balance at the end of the year. Account is over. Now investment account. As we discussed earlier कि इन्वेस्टमेंट की सेलिंग प्राइस नहीं दी गई है जो हमें कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट में रिपोर्ट करनी है. नाउ वी कैन डिसाइड इट. टोटल ऑफ डेबिट साइड लुक्स बिगर 2,20,000. पुट इट ऑन द क्रेडिट साइड 2,20,000. That gives a balancing figure of rupees 60,000 on the credit side. What it could be? It must be the selling price of the investment that has been sold in the current year, 60,000. Can you imagine what would be the cost price of this investment? इनकी cost price क्या होगी? Cost price होगी 40,000 और selling price है 60,000. तभी तो जाके 20,000 का प्रॉफिट इन्वेस्टमेंट अकाउंट में डेबिट करके कैपिटल रिजर्व अकाउंट में क्रेडिट किया गया है. सो सेलिंग प्राइस 60,000 and the cost price would be 40,000 and that is why profit is 20,000. Cash flow impact. Title came bank indicates cash inflow due to sale of investment. Title B investing activities. Profit has been transferred to capital reserve account and that is why it does not affect the cash flow statement. Had it been reported, had it been credited to the profit and loss account, then the situation would be a different situation. तब जाके हमें इनको इस साल के प्रॉफिट में से निकालना पड़ता. But that is not the case. This profit has been transferred to capital reserve account and that is why it does not affect the cash flow statement. Let us report this 60,000 in the cash flow statement. Under title B, sale of investment 60,000. Title B, cash flow generated from investment or investing activities, purchase, sale of investment plus 60,000. So this was for investment. Capital reserve account, I already saw you. If you want to see it once again, this is the capital reserve account. Nothing is there which can affect the cash flow. No opening balance, closing balance, transfer of profit, 2020 account is over. It doesn't affect the cash flow statement. Additional information once again, point number 5. Write-off. Fixed assets cost rupees 28,000 which is fully depreciated. One fixed asset, the original cost of which was 28,000, which is fully depreciated, has been written off in the current year. Let us prepare a small working note for this item. Don't forget the company follows the depreciation fund system. Working note, machinery written off. Cost of machinery which was written off in the current year 28,000. फुल्ली डेप्रिसिएटेड मीन्स इतने सालों में इन एसेट्स पर, ये मशीन पर 28,000 का डेप्रिसिएशन राइट ऑफ हो चुका है. दिस इज द मीनिंग ऑफ फुल्ली डेप्रिसिएटेड. सो लेस डेप्रिसिएशन रिटर्न ऑफ सो फार 28,000. दैट गिव्स रिटर्न डाउन वैल्यू इन द करंट ईयर नील. सो दिस हैज बीन रिटर्न ऑफ इन द करंट ईयर. अब इनकी रिटर्न डाउन वैल्यू नील हो चुकी है क्योंकि जितनी ओरिजिनल कॉस्ट थी उतना ही डेप्रिसिएशन इतने सालों में राइट ऑफ हो चुका है. जर्नल एंट्री. depreciation fund account debited 28,000 to fixed assets account credited 28,000. This 28,000 would have been included in the opening balance of depreciation fund. अब ये मशीन नहीं रहा तो हम depreciation fund को डेबिट करके इतने सालों का ये depreciation निकाल देंगे, and by crediting it to the fixed assets account at its original cost, इस मशीन को भी हम फिक्स्ड एसेट्स में से निकाल देंगे जो ओपनिंग बैलेंस में 28,000 के रूप में समाई हुई होगी. Let us give the posting in the concerned ledger accounts of fixed assets as well as the depreciation fund account. JE was depreciation fund account debited 28,000 transfer of depreciation to fixed assets account credited opposite narration 28,000. So depreciation fund debit to fixed assets account credit. Now we can close these two ledger accounts. Fixed assets account first. Credit side looks bigger, total of which is 20,28,000. Put it on the debit side, 20,28,000. That gives a balancing figure on the debit side, 4,28,000. What it could be? Apply the common accounting sense and knowledge. It must be the purchases made in the current year. Fixed assets account debited to bank account credited, 4,28,000. Depreciation fund account. Opening balance, closing balance. These two entries of the posting we already gave for transfer of depreciation, one for the sale, another for the written off. Current year's depreciation we already saw it. Account is over, 6,50,000, 6,50,000. No balancing figure. Cash flow impact. Depreciation fund account. Debit side nothing is there, but credit side title came profit and loss. Current year's depreciation 1,90,000. Depreciation is always a non-cash item, and that is why will be and should be added back in the current year's net profit once again under title A. 1,90,000. While from the fixed assets account, on the credit side title came bank selling price 50,000 under title B cash inflow. This is a transfer of depreciation 42,000, doesn't affect. Loss 8,000, title came profit and loss. It's a non-operating item, it's a non-operating expenditure, and that is why this 8,000 will be added back in the current year's net profit once again under title A. This is the transfer of that return of machinery. On the debit side, title came bank purchases cash outflow 4,28,000 under title B. So under title B, sale of machine plus 50,000, under same title B, purchase of machine minus 4,28,000, two entries. While under title A, depreciation plus 1,90,000 and this loss under title A plus 8,000. So two entries under title A and two entries under title B. Let us report it. Cash flow from operating activities, adjustments for non-cash and non-operating items, loss on sale of machine 8,000 and depreciation on fixed assets 1,90,000. So we reported two items from those two ledger account, fixed assets and depreciation fund account. Title B, cash flow from investment or investing activities, sale of machine, that is fixed assets plus 50,000, purchases of fixed assets minus 4,28,000. So fixed assets account, depreciation fund account got over, and we gave the impact in the cash flow statement. Let us verify the last additional information, point number 6 of the question. Income tax paid rupees 1,60,000. Number of times we saw this transaction, nothing is new. Let us verify the income tax account. Opening balance 1,80,000, closing balance 1,70,000. And now income tax paid 1,60,000. Income tax provision account debited to bank account credited 1,60,000. This is the posting. Total of debit side looks bigger, 3,30,000. Put it on the credit side, 3,30,000. That gives a balancing figure of rupees 1,50,000 on the credit side. What it could be? It must be the current year's provision for income tax. And the JE would be profit and loss account debit to income tax provision account credit provision of the current year. Cash flow impact. Current year's provision 1,50,000 as a non-cash item would be added back in the profit under title A because it is a non-cash item. On the debit side, title came bank. It indicates payment as a cash outflow under title A, but as a last and separate item, once you decide the cash flow from operating activities, then this would be the last reporting, normally जिनको हम कहते हैं pending item. Let us report it. Cash flow statement, title A, income tax provision plus 1,50,000, while the payment as a last and separate item under title A, less income tax paid minus 1,60,000. See, once you decide the cash flow from operating activities, then this would be reported income tax payment. Additional information points got over. 6 points were there and we completed all the 6 points. Let us verify the balance sheet for the remaining points of the question, that is called reading of the balance sheet. Come on the asset side first. Fixed assets already over, depreciation fund over, investment over, current assets. See here, a fixed block has been given for the current assets. Neither the names have been given nor any instruction has been given that how many items have been included in these current assets. So block of current assets has been given. All the components of the current assets have been included in this amount. 560 last year, 660 current year. Preliminary expenses 40,000 last year, current year 20,000. What does it mean? It means in the current year 20,000 rupees has been written off. Profit and loss account debited to preliminary expenses account credited 20,000. It's a non-cash item. It's a non-operating item. So let us add back it. Preliminary expenses written off plus 20,000. Let us verify the balance sheet once again. Asset side over. And now liability side. Equity share capital 6 lakh versus current year's balance 8 lakh. What does it mean? It means in the current year a further issue has been made for rupees 2 lakh. Bank account debited to equity share capital account credited 2 lakhs. It indicates cash inflow under title C. Issue of equity share capital plus 2 lakhs. Once again, liability side of the balance sheet. After equity share capital, capital reserve already over. General reserve last year 3,40,000, current year 4 lakh. An increase is of rupees 60,000. It is the saving that has been made in the current year. Profit and loss appropriation account debit to GR account credit 60,000. But it's a non-cash item, and that is why, being a non-cash item, would be added back in the current year's profit once again under title A. Have a look. Transferred to general reserve plus 60,000. Once again, balance sheet verification. After general reserve, profit and loss account balance over, debentures over, current liabilities last year 2,40,000, current year 2,60,000. Like current assets, over here also name of components have not been given, only block of current liabilities has been given. We will be reporting it after we decide the cash flow from operating activities. So only one current assets, gross block, as well as block of current liability. Provision for income tax IT over proposed dividend with unpaid dividend. In the previous question, this unpaid dividend was already there, and I explained that point in detail. What is the meaning of this unpaid dividend and how does it happens? So I am not repeating this explanation once again, because in the last video lecture I already explained this point, because this point was given in that question also. A small working note for the proposed dividend. You know the two line. Last year's proposed dividend would have been paid in the current year and the current year's proposed dividend will be paid in the next year. ये कहे तो भी करना है, ये ना कहे तो भी करना है, क्योंकि ये कंपनीज एक्ट के प्रोविजन की बात है. This 8,000 appearing in the 18 column must be related with the proposal of the last year's proposed dividend. क्योंकि इस साल का proposed dividend 72,000 तो अगले साल में ही चुकाया जा सकता है. Working note for proposed dividend. Have a look. Number 5. For the payment of last year's proposed dividend. Proposed dividend account debited 60,000. Last year की ये proposal थी, payment हुआ है इस साल में. But how much has been paid? To bank account credited 50,000. To unpaid dividend account credited 8,000. Because still 8,000 is unpaid. And that is why only 52,000 has been paid, credited to bank account. While the current year's balance 72,000, it is the proposal of the current year. Profit and loss appropriation account debited to proposed dividend account credited 72,000. Let us give the posting in the concerned ledger accounts of proposed dividend and unpaid dividend. First G. Opening balance 60,000, closing balance 72,000. Posting of first journal entry. Proposed dividend account debited to bank account credited 52,000, to unpaid dividend account credited 8,000, total debited 60,000. This is related with this balance of last year. So proposed dividend account debited 60,000, to bank credited 52,000, to unpaid dividend account credited 8,000, total debited 60,000. Unpaid dividend account, over there we have to credit 8,000. Have a look. Unpaid dividend account, no opening balance, closing balance 8,000. Posting. Proposed dividend account debited to unpaid dividend account credited 8,000. It is lying there in the form of closing balance. Account is over 8,000, 8,000. Then the current year's proposal 72,000. Profit and loss appropriation account debited to proposed dividend account credited current year's proposal, which is lying in the form of closing balance at the end of the year. As I told you, this cannot be paid in the current year. After getting the consents of the shareholders in the AGM, which will take place in the next year, company will be making the payment of this 72,000 in the next year. Cash flow impact. On the debit side, title came bank indicates cash outflow. Under title C, proposed dividend of last year paid minus 52,000. Profit and loss title came on the credit side. Current year's proposal 72,000. It's a non-cash item, and that is why will be and should be added back in the net profit of the current year under title A. Let us report it. Title A first. Current year's proposed dividend plus 72,000. Then payment of last year's proposed dividend under title C. Proposed dividend paid minus 52,000. So this was for the last item of balance sheet. Let us verify. Balance sheet got over. Yes, it was the last item. Proposed dividend and unpaid dividend. Let us decide the cash profit generated from business operation. Total of adjustments, all these adjustments. Total is 5,03,600. That gives the cash profit before changes in working capital or before changes in current assets and current liabilities. Cash profit 5,33,600. Now changes in current assets and current liabilities. Increase is in current assets, negative relationship CA with cash flow. So decrease is the cash flow minus 1 lakh. Increase is in current liabilities, positive relationship. Increase is in CL, increase is the cash flow plus 20,000. Final impact of these two changes minus 80,000. That gives the answer of cash flow from operating activities plus 4,53,600. Deduct the income tax payment for the final answer of A. Less income tax paid, we already reported it, 1,60,000. That gives the final answer, net cash flow from operating activities 2,93,600 plus 2,93,600 plus A. Total of B, investing activities, net cash flow from investing activities B minus 3,18,000, and total of C, these three items, net cash flow from financing activities C plus 24,400. So we decided the answer of A, B and C. Ultimate picture, final answer of cash flow of the entire year. How to decide it? Net cash flow of entire business, or you may say increases or decreases is in the cash flow during the year, A plus B plus C, it is nil. ये तीनों का टोटल करेंगे तो जवाब मिलेगा नील. Add opening balance of cash and bank. We were doing this till the last question, but in this question, as I already told you and we already saw it in the balance sheet also, let me show it once again for your satisfaction. Only block of current assets has been given. There is no separate cash or bank balance given or available over here on the asset side, and that is why we are not in a position to add the opening balance of cash and bank, or we are not in a position to verify the closing balance of cash and bank, because neither the opening nor the closing balances are separately available in the balance sheet. So that is the reason, and that is why opening balance add nil is equal to closing balance of cash and bank nil. These balances were not available on the asset side of the balance sheet, and that is why add opening balance of cash and bank nil. That gives the final answer of closing balance of cash and bank nil. So this was the process of this question. Depreciation fund system was a good point of the question, because that balance was given on the asset side of the balance sheet just with a word of depreciation only. So proper understanding is very important to digest that meaning of depreciation, that it is the balances of depreciation fund system that was given. And redemption of debenture was also a good point of the question. I hope each and everything of the question would be very clear in your mind. Thank you. Thank you very much.